Hello, how is everyone? I hope you're doing as well as you can be right now. I thought I'd just do a little sit down video and talk about my 2021 goals. But before we get into it, I just want to say a huge thank you to my Patreons who allow me to make these kinds of videos. And thank you to all my new Patreons and the OG Patreons as well. I love each and every one of you, and I'm so grateful and just so excited. I dropped my first ever workbook on my Patreon last week. Thank you so much for all the wonderful feedback on it so far. If you are wanting to plan out your year, have a think about what brings you most joy so that you can make your goals around things that you really value, this is for you. Everyone who is a Patreon for the printables and up has access for it, so I'll leave all the links in the description. We released a new episode of the TLC podcast. It's a podcast I co-host with my bestie Venus Libido. We interviewed Henry James Garrett, who is the author of, I've got it somewhere, who's the author of this book. So I'm also going to leave the links to that in the description, and we've got a live podcast recording event coming up, so I'm going to put that in the description as well. I think that is all the housekeeping, and let's just get on with the goals. So I didn't make any goals of 2020. I did not foresee what was going to happen. I just was in kind of a negative mindset, and I didn't really want to make any goals, and I kept saying to myself, I'll make some when I feel better, and then you know what happened. So the workbook has definitely helped me see last year for some positives. It's helped me see that I have made progress, even if it's in things that I don't know, even if it's small or about self-care and about routines. So I have a couple goals here. So there is really no order here. So the main first goal that is going to be my main focus going into this year is my routine. I am someone who loves a routine. I love structure, and last year that was really hard to maintain. And I noticed that something small as a routine has like a catalyst effect on the way I feel about myself, the way I feel about my work, the way I feel about everything. And honestly, there were some days last year that it was so hard to get out of bed. And I know for me, I'm a morning person. That was really hard when I couldn't even get out of bed. So that's going to be the focus. And I've already been feeling since, even towards the end of December, been getting back to it, and I feel so much more like myself. And I noticed that something small can have a domino effect in my routine and make the whole thing collapse. So sometimes it doesn't make sense to people, but for me it really makes sense that my core pillar that I really want to focus on this year is waking up early. And when I do that, I tend to work out more. I tend to just, when I'm working out, I want to eat healthy vegetables, and then I end up going to sleep early because I'm tired, because I've been working out. So that one habit of waking up early has like a catalyst effect on the rest of my day. And it's so hard to get out of bed when it's cozy and the world is on fire. But I have come to realise that it's a really important part of keeping my mind in check, because all of those things that I just said as well, like sleep, eating vegetables, working out, they all make me feel like me and keep me feeling like I can kind of tackle things. I notice that if I'm not waking up early and then I'm waking a bit later and then I forget to eat because I'm not working out, because I have worked out quite a lot, I've noticed that when I don't work out, I don't necessarily get as hungry, so I have been like forgetting to eat, which then makes me feel worse. So, and I hate skipping meals, and I don't think it's good. It doesn't make me feel good. It doesn't make my brain feel good. And then when I do eat, obviously I have like a huge amount of food, which makes my tummy bad, and then I feel anyway. So that is the main thing going into this year, is if I can really focus on waking up at 6 to 6:30, which I probably do like once a week, and I used to do it every day. I'll do it like one time and be like, oh wow, I really woke up really early that one day of this week. But yeah, I've noticed that something so small, like just waking up early, can like make me feel like I can do life. I'm sure other people have like their one thing that really like helps them feel better, but that's my one thing. So I'm gonna be focusing on that, and that is a common thing that comes up every year for me, is like I just know that if I can focus on this thing, it will have like a domino effect on the rest of my goals. So that is my top priority. The other things I think are gonna have been coming in to my focus, but the main thing is I'm gonna wake up 6:30 to 6 a.m. every day. And yeah, I've been doing it for the last few days and I feel great. So just need to, it's about like sticking to the habit and doing it. And again, in my workbook, I went through all of the different challenges that could make me fall off track, which are being on my phone late, working late. For some reason last year, I would stay away from the news because it's really bad for my mental health. And then I would get into bed early, and then my brain would be like, do you want to look at the news right now when you're in bed and you should be falling asleep? And then I would just be wide awake, just like, I can't sleep. The world's on fire. So I'm not doing any of that. I've been reading, loving reading this book. I've got so many books. I couldn't read one book last year. I think I might have listened to one audiobook, but I found it so hard to read just because my brain was like all over the place. And I know a lot of people struggled with reading. And that leads me on to my next goal. I usually read about 40 to 50 books a year, and because of last year I didn't read one book. I'm not going to go back into my usual goal. I want to read just one book a month. That is what I'm saying. That is something I feel like it's totally doable. I can totally do that, even if it's just an audiobook, because that counts. I want to listen to audiobooks when I'm always packing, which is what I kind of do, but I definitely got into the habit of like, I think putting too much YouTube, like you can have too much YouTube that isn't like, I don't know, I just watched, and the studio vlogs are great, but I don't think it's healthy to be watching like 100 a day, because I just don't think that even though they're wonderful, I feel like when I get through books, it's a completely different medium, isn't it? I love studio vlogs. I love watching people's studio vlogs, but maybe it didn't help with like me and my comparison of last year. And I know a lot of people dealt with like self-esteem, and I myself have definitely feel like my self-esteem was knocked because of 2020. So yeah, I'm gonna try and switch up what I consume into like more books that are about like self-helpy stories, books of my friends. Like so many people I follow online have come up with books I haven't read yet, so I'm just, yeah, I feel like I got the book bug now where I'm like, us, I'm so excited to read books. So I want to read a book a month. At the moment I'm reading on audiobook, I'm listening to Obama's book, which I'm really enjoying, and then straight afterwards I'm going to listen to Becoming. And yeah, I think one book a month is like achievable. It's going to be an enjoyable goal to do, And I think I can totally, as well, if I miss a month or something, I can totally catch up. So that's my other goal. Another thing that I really have already started focusing on for a while, I probably say since about the end of December, I've been really prioritizing this, is maybe not the end of December, but the end of December I decided this had to be a goal for this year, is organisation. In every sense of the word. I am dyslexic and I have had a long history with anxiety, and even though I think people think I'm organised and maybe that's the impression that I give, and I have had my moments, don't get me wrong, I've had my moments, but every December, like most Decembers, have just been chaotic, and I know a huge way that I could have relieved a lot of the anxiety and a lot of the pain would have been my organisation. And I do let things pile up, and I'm have at my like lowest moments I put my head in the sand a lot, and I don't want to do that anymore. I have been using Notion. I really am going to be putting every Friday a little admin audit day. I want every week on Fridays to do a little audit, see where I am, and I've said it now, so it's got to be in the vlogs so you can keep me accountable. I want to be on top of my money that's coming in and out, like taxes, like all of this stuff that's like you've got to be organised and on top of, as well as emails. Like, it's such a big thing. But yeah, I've been loving using Notion. I feel like Notion is my hub for my little organisation. I also have my weekly planners, this beautiful weekly planner that you can get on my shop. I feel like a telly ad. So yeah, I think I have the habit of being like, because my money and stuff is quite easy to do in a big chunk, I'm like, it's gonna be fine. But actually it just weighs on me, even though it is always fine, it always weighs on me, and I just don't like the weight of the anxiety. My emails as well, I had huge issues with my emails. I also wasn't checking my emails as regularly as I would like, and granted, I think everyone has had a different 2020 and has responded in a different way, and I have just been really self-sabotaging myself, especially the last couple months of 2020, and I know that it's my organisation that I just got to do it, just got to get organised, rather than having bits of paper here and there, and Notion is hugely helping me with that. Let me know if you want to see a Notion tour, as well as my environment space. I'm the kind of person that's like, I need to tidy up, but I also kind of want to work, and I will always choose working over tidying up. And then I realised like I've been really unhappy, and it's because I haven't had like a deep clean and a big tidy, and just letting things again pile up and letting laundry pile up, and I just feel like organisation is like the key to all of these things. Love one day to be able to afford an assistant, because I suck at these things, but I'm much better than I was before, and I know that I've had my moments with organisation. I know that I can be organised, and I know I feel better when I'm organised, especially when I find a way of being organised. I'm really proud of myself for keeping myself organised. I know I can do it. It's just, there are so many connections with having dyslexia and anxiety with organisation and finding things hard in terms of like organisation, but I cannot live the way that I have lived this last year. Oh, it's been awful. So that's something that, yeah, I've been tackling slowly but surely, and my desktop is still a mess, but we're gonna get it done, and I'm gonna show you how I'm staying organised in the vlogs. Another goal of mine is in my workbook, I'm going to show it again. In my workbook, I said that the first chapter is reflecting on the last year and trying to find the highlights and the things that made you feel at peace and the things that kind of brought you joy. And I realised that times when I have done like a random, joined like a random moon rituals or online workshop about spirituality in some way. As I've seen like an event on Instagram and I've just like signed up and then done it, and it's been really healing for me. And I think it's really careful when we talk about spirituality as it becomes like this like shiny trend, that I have a huge passion to kind of respect the cultures that these things come from as well. But I have definitely noticed in periods of last year when I was a stress ball in the summer, and I did a workshop on like Mars retrograde, which hugely affects Aries, and I'm Aries. And even if you don't want to believe in it, so what? For me it was just really healing and made me feel really gave me some sense of direction on how to deal with it. And I have crystals, and I've been listening to like tarot readings and been getting into like manifesting and just, I don't know, more connecting with like my spirituality makes me feel, especially with how things went last year. I've been really noticing that there's like a pull towards that, and I'm open to it. It's very nice. And my other goal is I want to do The Artist's Way. So this is a book I've spoken to everyone and everyone's mum about. I have read it twice, and I've never actually done it. It's like a 12-week course that's meant to make you kind of go on this journey, and I do the morning pages, and they're an integral part of my morning routine. But every week you do a different task, and I never went on the 12-week course of The Artist's Way. So today marks the first day that I'm starting this 12-week course from The Artist's Way. If you haven't heard of it, it's a book that just helps you connect with your creativity. You don't have to be an artist in any sense of the word to get a lot from this book, and it kind of talks about giving you tools and techniques to find that connection with creativity again. So hugely recommend the book. I have loved the morning pages, and because I got so much from it, I was like, I'm not going to do the rest. And I would put the thing after the morning pages that you've got to do every week is go on an artist date. And I have tried to put that in my calendar, and every single time, and this has been about since the first time I read it like 3 years ago, I would always just delete it. Oh, I've got work to do. Oh, I need to do chores. Oh, I need to do XYZ. I would never, if I've got something in the diary that's just for me to have fun and like no one else has to be there and I don't have to show up for someone else, I'll get it. I won't do it. And in The Artist's Way, she goes on about how like you've got to prioritize taking care of your inner child. And definitely from 2020, I noticed that I was having huge problems with self-sabotage and being really hard on myself, that I really want to go back into The Artist's Way and properly do it, and to try and like heal that whatever's going on there. That's what I want to do. I have a couple of work goals in terms of jobs and stuff, so I'm just gonna tell you what my work goals are, to put them out there into the universe, and hopefully they'll come to me. They're probably not what you would expect. I'd love to do some packaging. I'm just hire me to do some packaging. I saw some lovely packaging over Christmas, some cat kitten and just so much cool packaging, that I was like, oh, I actually really want to do some packaging. And I have done packaging probably like 2 years ago, but yeah, it's been a minute, so I'd love to do some packaging. I'd also like to do something with an alcohol brand. I feel like I'm always tagging stuff on Pinterest, and with illustrations to do with alcohol brands. it just seems like such a cool kind of thing. And also things that I don't think that anyone would look at my work and be like, alcohol, because it's about, like, a lot of my stuff is centered around like children and playfulness. So I would love to tackle a brief like that. And I also know that other illustrators who I guess do kind of cute style, when they've done stuff with an alcohol brand and had to kind of like, I guess, make it for that audience, it's been really interesting. So that is like a challenge, I think, for myself that I'd be really up for doing. I want to do a new product every month. I particularly want to do hats. I don't know if it's too late, but I really, really want to do hats. I don't know if it'll happen. But yeah, I've written it down. That's one thing I want to do. And I really also want to organise my Christmas at least before September and start working on getting products and everything like in September and August. So I've already kind of mentally started to plan for Christmas like now, just because I had just such a terrible time with things being delayed and manufacturers not like getting back to me, and it was just this whole drama. So I really want to avoid doing that by giving myself enough time and not feeling like I have to make work rushed. And yeah, I've learnt my lesson. I'm going to plan Christmas way in advance. And I also have a secret project I've got deadlines for, and kind of have to do it in my own time, which I really want to make happen. And that's a goal of mine. And the podcast is going really well. We have some personal goals in terms of getting sponsorship for that, but I think for me, I'd really love to just get season done, have a good break, and get another season done. And that's it. I think that's all my work goals. If you want to hire me for packaging or alcohol design, like, my email address is in the description. I'd love to do it. It's because I think no one would see my work and be like, get her for an alcohol brand. Obviously I want to continue doing what I'm already doing, but those are definite things that I think I've got to kind of make happen or tell people that they're things I want to do, because I don't think that with the stuff I've done in the last few years, people would think that I'd want to do that kind of stuff. Anyway, those are my goals for 2021. My camera died so many times through this. Let me know what your goals are. Again, like I said, my main focus is going to be my morning. All the others are like secondary goals. They're not that important, but they're in my mind. I've set them out into the universe. I've put them out there. Who knows what will happen. I'm reading The Artist's Way. That is also, hopefully, these things will come out in the vlogs and you'll be able to see me actually do them. I said hopefully. They will come out in the vlogs. And yeah, I think that's it from me. If you want the Going Places workbook, it's up on my Patreon. I am doing a podcast that's going to come out. If you want to know more details about my goals and how my year went and all the vulnerabilities I have to share, you can sign up to my Patreon. And I have a shop. All the links will be in the description. If you want to support me, you can always just like and comment my stuff online. That is also a huge help as well. And if you want to buy anything from my shop, have a little browse, go for it, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.